Hey guys, it's Grizzly here, and welcome back to another, or actually my first, A Noob's Journey game. So I'm using the wolf deck that I built in the last video to start playing, and actually I had a pretty solid first game, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you guys. So hopping into the game here, I'm a little apprehensive. I'm still not great at sacrificing monster cards, and you see me against another Elementalist opponent. Now, in my last game, he gave up way too quickly. I was hoping that this game would go as well. I don't really like it when people surrender. I like games to finish. Then again, when I'm losing horribly, I also tend to surrender, so that works out for hypocrisy, I guess. So we see me quickly sacrifice my first card. I'm not too worried about it. That was a pretty easy decision. Now I'm just, this early pre-game stuff where we're just sort of bumping it back and forth. However, he does chuck down a spark, much like my last opponent. So you see me struggling a little bit more with this sacrifice, but ultimately sacrificing my Deathbone card, choosing to stick with the Wolf cards to build the primary force of my army. I'm sorry if you guys hear a squeaking in the background. That's my chair as I move around. So, a little background just about me playing this game, because I had someone watch the video and they said that I didn't really seem like a noob to the game. First of all, you have to remember this is a pretty low skill rating that I'm at right now. I'm only, I think, 170 something in this video. Once I get up into if I were to start this segment in like the 200 and 250s, I would say, definitely not being truthful. But I did, I did start this a little late. I wish I'd started it a week ago, but, you do what you can. So you see my second sacrifice, immediately getting rid of my captured prey, because I just don't think I'm going to need that anytime soon. And using my pack wolf to... actually, I did consider this for a minute. I am considering this. It's a tough decision because... And I ultimately decide not to attack, which... That was weird. Huh. I don't know why I decided that. I should have attacked the Elementalist. I think I... Or maybe my video just glitched out and I did. But, if I didn't, I really should have attacked the Elementalist. There's no downside to attacking the Elementalist with my Pack Wolf that turn. Yeah, I definitely didn't attack him. I don't know why I didn't. All it was free damage. The reason I didn't, I decided not to attack his 1/5 monster is because the counterattack would have put me in a weak position if he had had a way to buff or deal damage quickly. So we see his Spark take another crack at my Moonstalker, which, not a huge loss. I'm not, sweating it. So you see me get rid of the Brutalist because it's a pretty weak monster. I'm not really worried about losing it at this point, and chuck my Pack Alpha on my Bad Wolf, buffing it up to a respectably strong 5/7. And you see me cut down his Carnivore, which he buffed, which means he wasted that Shadow Energy. Whenever you can eliminate the focus of Shadow Energy, you're just in a great position, because it means that he spent 3 turns accumulating that energy, and I just destroyed it in 1 turn. So you definitely want that as much as possible. So I'm in a pretty good position right here. I have a decent base to start building on. I mean, it could be wiped out, without too much hassle if he has the right cards. But I've got 2 monsters out. One of them significantly buffed. You see him drop a Bad Santa. Those kind of cards, Bad Santa and Bizarre, which allow both players to draw cards, can be a really risky maneuver. It'll give you more cards, certainly, but it'll also give your opponent more cards. So you always want to be careful about that. And we just see me sort of going along here. Not really. Sorry, 1 second. I have to bump up my my fan speed, and my computer's really heating up here. Okay, going back to it, we see me chuck down my Wolven Tracker. Great draw engine for Wolven decks if you guys play the Wolven decks. It can be hard because you don't have a Blood Frenzy to choose from like you do if you play Human. And with my buffed up Bad Wolf, it's easy to eliminate his Spark, and now I'm just free to take a crack at him. And at this point, the match is definitely turning in my favor a little. Actually, I have a pretty good lead at the moment. I have a nice array of monsters on the field. He has none. I have enough resources to put more on the field. I have I haven't used any Shadow Energy yet, unless I did while I was fixing my fan speed. And I hope that doesn't interfere with the video. If you guys can hear that, I'll have to fix that for the next one. Okay, so this was an excellent counterattack. He uses mind control to take my bad wolf from me. If he had managed to attack one of my monsters, I would have been in a horrible place. Thankfully, I got lucky and he attacked my Moonstalker. Um, and then my bad wolf dies from the attack, so I'm already one. So that puts me a monster down. But if he had managed to attack one of my other monsters, that would have been even worse for me. You see me skip my sacrifice phase and chuck down 2 more monsters. So now I'm up to 4. Definitely not a good place for the Elementalist at the moment, just because my attack force is pretty significant at this point. Um, without unless he has a nuke card like Supernova in his deck, really not looking at a chance for a comeback. But there's always that chance. You never want to assume you've won, and that's why I always say, even if you're going to win the next turn, play as though the game's going to keep going. Because if by some chance you don't win, he manages to supernova you or stifle your attack, you don't want to be caught in a position where you could have been in an even more secure location and you just gave it away. So we see him chuck down a Belladonna, which is sort of a desperation monster, and life infuse it. The problem is that he's buffing up a single monster, and actually, I believe he makes a smart choice here. But yeah, he throws down his Belladonna, which is really just an attempt to keep me from killing, or to counterattack to some degree. And it is a 4/7 at this point, so it not a weak monster. The problem is that my attack force is so severe, and I have 2 captured prey cards now. So once again, skipping my sacrifice phase and using one of my captured prey cards on that Belladonna, which is going to stop her from counterattacking while I wipe out her life. So you see me cut her down, and at this point in the game, I'm doing pretty much everything I can, and I don't know how an Elementalist would even come back from this. Like I said, if he had gotten a Supernova, definitely could have turned the game around right here. And I mean, I obviously know how this game ends. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody else, and to anybody watching this, how the game's gonna end at this point. I have a significant lead. Um, so let's talk about some things since I'm waiting for this to keep going. Some things that could have been done differently. First of all, if you get at this point in the game, if you get a lot of monsters out on the field, like you see me have 4 on the field already, I don't need any more monsters out on the field really. At this point, I would probably decide to, like, if I got some of my Shadow Knights or something, I'd probably keep them in my hand. The reason for that is if you were to do something like a Supernova, I'd want to have some creatures to fall back on. So you see him play that Carnivore and use his ability on it. Unfortunately for him, I got the luckiest draw possible, which was a Now You're Mine card, and I just wipe it out in one fell swoop. That was really just bad luck on his part and good luck on mine that I just managed to draw that card at that moment. So you're gonna see me just attack with all my monsters, and this is one of the reasons why I prefer monster decks, is because once you get a significant lead like this, I feel like it's a lot easier to keep it. With hero decks, you can get a really strong weapon out or a really strong armor, but there are so many cards that'll just easily neutralize that. There's a lot more risk. However, there is a lot more reward by having a strict reliance on your hero. Cards that neutralize allies, of which there are far more than neutralize hero weapons and armor. You're not really you're not susceptible to those. So it's a risk reward situation. I've just never been a huge risk taker, except with my card sacrifices at the beginning of my turn. I will take some really stupid risks with those sacrifices. So at this point, he has Bazaar out. Like I said, that's kind of a risky card to play unless you're playing a direct damage deck. Um, when you're playing an ally deck, you really don't want to give your opponent even more cards to use against you. But it was a choice that he made, and actually significantly increases my draw engine. Actually, at this point, I was kind of worried about running out of cards because I have my Wolven Tracker out on the field attacking every turn, plus Bazaar. That's 3. That's quite a few. That's 3 cards per turn. I can do math good, I swear. Alright, so I tossed down another monster. Like I said, at this point, you're going to want to hold those Shadow Knights in your hand probably at this point in the game, because like I said, if your side of the field gets nuked, that'll leave you a very strong backup to fall back on. I mean, if something were to happen, and something very well could, unless I'm being a moron and Supernova is specific to a type of card that is not Elementalist, which is possible because, like I said, I'm still pretty new to this game. I'm not perfect at it. I definitely don't know what all the cards do. So you see me attack with my whole slew of monsters again. I think I have full Shadow Energy. I haven't had to use any yet. So I'm definitely in a very, very strong place at the moment. And at this point, it's pretty much just, the game's just winding down. When you get into the sacrifices this late in the game, I usually tend to wonder. I'll be the kid starter sitting there wondering, oh, did he DC on me? Because it does happen. I've certainly done it to people. DCing is kind of like the I don't even care. You can sit here for a minute and wait for your victory move. It's not very nice though. So you see me chuck down my Pack Wolf and my Here Be Monsters just to wipe out one of his resources, keeping those Shadow Knights in my hand. Like I said, definitely don't want to throw down all your monsters on the field. And this should be the final string of attacks, or there might be one more. So overall, this was a very positive start to my... Yep, this is going to end this turn. It was a very positive start to my Noob's Journey. This deck, I think I built it pretty strong. It's working out pretty well. But, like I said, I'm still in the lower rungs of competition when it comes to... I don't know why I was so anal about this. Like, no, I have to use the ability before I attack. I'm still in the lower rungs of competition in the 170s range. Once I get above 200, I think we're going to start to see a much stiffer competition. So there's my first game, and I managed to snag a victory. Pretty good start. So don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for next game. And there's my new rating, 178, and I'll put that on my I'll put that in the comment of my next video. Thanks, guys.